Today we're talking about horror franchises. Scream, Saw, what else is there? Doors, Aliens. Some of them are awesome, a lot of them are not. But let's have a chat about them. Let's introduce our guests. Hello, James, how are you today? What are you wearing?
I'm great. What am I wearing? Double denim.
Are you channeling Brittany?
Well, I mean, I don't have her
JD?
physique, but... Hi, I'm James, by the way, and I look forward to the conversation.
Who else have we got? We've got Heater. How are you today?
Oh, I'm fine. Thanks for asking. Having a nice day.
Is it a nice day, though?
Oh, well, I can't really tell.
We also have InsomniaManifested. How are you?
Doing alright.
Yeah? You still hanging in there with us?
Yeah.
All
Trying
right.
not to fall back asleep.
Well, if we lose you, we're in a bit of trouble then, aren't we?
Yeah.
That's good. Might say a lot.
Oh, man.
But just to clarify, the host was... This is not a porn channel, so when she asked me what I was wearing, it was just a general question.
No, it wasn't. It was sexual harassment straight up.
Oh, what?
You know, well, I figure I can do that, can't I? No?
I don't mind.
What is this? What's going on right now?
All right, well, let's go for it. So we're talking about the horror franchises, like I said. So we'll just jump straight into it. What do we think of these horror franchises? You know, would we reimagine any of them for the modern audiences? If so, which ones would you do you think? James? No, Heater, what do you think?
I'm looking at the franchises right now. And what's the first one again? Is there like a list of these?
So Heater's done some research here, we can tell. Well, franchises, you know, anything that, like, for example, Halloween.
You want me to go off? You want me to just straight up just give my own example? You know, franchises.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, so you want me to talk about a certain one? Let me think, because there's like a lot of horror movie franchises. You know, they milk the shit out of that. It's a common thing in the film industry. They like one thing, they would proceed to make more films preceding that, and some of them, you know, not so good. Some of them
like
are great.
A dead horse.
I mean, I'll agree with Heater, because at the end of the day, I mean, everything's been done. I mean, even I was looking up franchises, like even ones that I didn't know, they're doing it. It's just rebooting everything.
It's like they like one movie so much, they usually make another one after that, and the second one probably isn't as good as the first, but they end up doing it anyway because it earns them money and shit like that. So yeah, it's a lot of milk franchises in the horror film industry.
Is there any you think that you'd want to sort of reboot? Modern audiences?
It's a hard question. Just like, if I'm gonna be honest, I haven't really seen a lot of horror franchises. But there's like literally nothing that's bad. There's no horror franchise that's really bad. All of them are pretty good. I don't think I would want to touch any of them because they're all, you know, nice in their own way. But one of my favorites has got to be the let me think. It's the Friday the 13th one. You know, it's just the epitome of slasher films, and it conveys that very well in all of its films. It just shows this dude in a hockey mask killing everyone, Jason. You know, and it doesn't stray too far from the original plot. There's just this psychopath who kills everybody with a machete, and I like that about it. It doesn't really stray too far off because, you know, directors and all that shit, they get blinded by money and try to appeal more to the audience. They usually, you know, just go off on their own direction. And yeah, it's well, there's one movie that's very bullshit to me. I don't know if that makes any sense, but Yeah, everything else is nice, especially that crossover they did with Nightmare on Elm Street with Freddy Krueger, where he fights Jason and all that shit. I found that really cool.
Who won?
So
Was
yeah,
it like Jason? I haven't seen that actually. I think with
I think
Halloween,
there's two
from what I
endings.
ah, did you
wait, what?
enjoy that?
Was it fun? Was it a fun experience? Wait, who said that? Was it you, Insomnia?
No, that
Yeah.
wasn't.
No, it was James.
No, I haven't said anything yet.
Well, who the fuck
Insomnia,
said that then?
Insomnia, don't back out on. You were saying something about.
I was just
Yeah, I
saying there
think
were
you
like
said.
two different endings. I still haven't watched it, but when I was
Ah.
in elementary school, I would just look up all the like kills for these movies because I just wanted
Oh,
to see the death scenes and stuff.
the
So you
death
did,
I don't
scenes
know.
do tend to be creative sometimes. That's the good part about it.
I mean, I don't know. I got bored and I was like, I just want to watch some horror movie death scenes since I can't actually buy them because I'm a dumb child.
so you just
Now
cut
you go and
right
yeah.
to the chase.
Now
There
Amazon
you go, and
exists
you
and it's
yeah.
also easily accessible.
Mm. You can literally go on YouTube and just type in all kills for Halloween, and it's all the kills in like 20
Yeah.
minutes. You're not
Oh
really
yeah, no, that's
interested in
what I used to
narrative.
do. That's what I used to do back in like 2011.
Yeah, just look up the kills because it's the juicy part of any slasher film. The part where they fucking kill the people.
Like
It's
when Michael
usually
Myers stabbed a guy with a gun.
Oh, he did that once in the neck, right?
I don't remember where exactly. All I know is he
I think it was
actually
the
did it.
neck or it was the eye. Yeah, he did it with a gun. That's what I can assure.
It's ridiculous to think about.
I don't even know. I don't even know how that happens.
The magic of movies.
Well, just getting back to what Jude was asking, because I was just what Heater was saying is actually just reminded me of something, because he's right, because what you have is retcons, and if anyone knows what retcon is, basically a movie you've got, like, for example, Halloween, and there's hundreds, at least a dozen, more than a dozen Halloween movies, and what the Halloween in 2000 did is basically retcon, so it ignored all the films that came before it, just decided, oh, we're going to do a sequel to the one that was the first one, so it just kind of, you don't have to follow on what came before, you can just decide to insert the narrative in between timelines, which gets really confusing as well.
They also did that like 2 times with Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
and it's really confusing, because if anyone has ever played Resident Evil, the movie, not the movies, the video games, it's just all over the place. Resident Evil 1 comes before Resident Evil 0, and it's all very, very clear. It's very confusing.
I don't get into that kind of stuff. Timelines, that ain't my thing.
Yeah, it's
I'm not-
really weird to try and compile them and see how they
Yeah.
go along each other, especially if they're retcons.
I thought they were
And
just called prequels.
Wait, what did he say?
Oh, I thought they were all just like prequels, and yeah, that's too confusing.
There's sequels, prequels, retcons, all this other garbage. There's the like spin-off bits.
Don't even get me started on Star Wars.
God, no,
Well, thankfully, that's not-
what we're here to discuss, and that's
I know. We're not getting into that. If we attempt to get into Star Wars, to explaining the prequels, the sequels, and all the shit that's canon and not canon anymore, it's gonna take us a while.
Yeah, no, I ain't doing that. Gonna take
We're not
hours.
Wait, just wanna
Not
ask
going
the other.
into Star Wars.
Just wanted to ask you guys, I mean, with the horror franchise, and I hope you actually have watched this, and this is basically one that's been redone at least 4 times. It's the Twilight Zone, which started in 1959, and it got rebooted in the 80s, then rebooted in the early noughties, and then it's rebooted again only a couple, and it's absolutely brilliant. But it's the originals and the 80s series are so much better because they had so many big names acting in it, and it's Lovecraftian inspired as well, so it's really quite disturbing.
I have not seen it.
I would strongly recommend you. It's on YouTube. You can get some episodes on YouTube.
All right.
I've seen like 1, 2, or 3 episodes, I think. And some of them have these really shocking twists at the end that would just send you off your seat.
Yeah.
It's really fucking. Some of them are fucked up. Some of them just blows your mind. Like, well, what? What the fuck?
It's
You're
not blood and
watching it.
guts. It's not blood and guts. It's
It's not
psychological.
blood and guts. It's not blood and guts. It's actually a really cool concept. It's like Black.
Sorry?
Black Mirror.
I was just talking about the Twilight Zone. I mean, that's a franchise.
Ah.
I mean, it's been
Yeah.
reimagined, but I've not been able to see the most recent one because, like I say, it's not blood and guts. It's very psychological. It's very disturbing, kind of what happens. I mean, one example is where a child has to go for a test, and basically the twist is that the kid passes the test, but because he's too intelligent, he gets killed.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Yeah. That's some
I-
funny minds who are coming up with that stuff. I would love to sit around the table and just listen to these people come up with those ideas.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Oh
I mean,
man.
Rod Serling.
I
The
mean,
only-
I wouldn't- Sorry, go.
oh, what are you guys saying? What are you guys saying? James,
I
go
was
on.
just gonna throw in another one. The one that hasn't been reimagined, I think they should, and it's also really good. It's Tales from the Crypt, and this is basically similar
Oh.
to Twilight Zone.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
it's an
And it had-
anthology too, right? It's an anthology.
It's brilliant,
Yeah.
and it's like a comedy horror, but it had all the big names. It's got Bruce Willis, Arnold Schwarzenegger, really massive names, and it's not been redone, and it was absolutely brilliant. I strongly recommend watching it.
Oh, I've heard of it, but I haven't
Arnold
really
is
gotten
like-
into it.
It's brilliant. Yeah, that's
What are
not
you
been redone.
What are you
Do
saying,
you think it
Insomnia?
needs to be though?
Arnold is the legend. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, he is.
The man, the myth, the legend.
I mean, it was what he did in Terminator that really, fucking put his name up there.
Well, Predator as well.
Oh
I love
yeah,
Predator.
And,
all of those,
there's that one Christmas movie.
testosterone-filled movies.
Except for
I mean,
Twins. I don't know what he was thinking there.
There was also that Christmas movie he did,
Oh yeah.
Oh,
and then another one with Danny DeVito. I
Single
don't
all the
remember that.
way.
Yeah, that's
Twins.
Twins.
Go all the way. That's the
That's
is
name.
that the one where he
Oh,
said about the cookies? Is that the one? I'm not sure
Yes,
that's
put
the
the
one.
cookie down.
Put
That's,
And
the
then
put
Twins he
the
goes,
cookie
"It's not a
down."
tumor."
that's where one of the most famous quotes comes from.
Do you know what
Just
was
got-
interesting about him was that how he'd finished his political
Mhm.
work, and then bang, he's straight back into movies again. Like, who does that?
Then he started
Uh,
taking on more
this is-
serious roles, like Maggie.
Maggie.
Like, it's like it's a kind of a post-apocalyptic zombie style movie where he actually is acting. He's not playing this kind of
Meathead.
muscle-clad. Yeah, he's genuinely acting, and he actually got
Oh,
good praise for it.
Well, you think he'd get good at it eventually, though, wouldn't you?
Well, like Daniel Radcliffe, he was shit in Harry Potter, but he got good.
Oh my!
Oh no.
Have you
Oh.
seen that? What's it called? Where it's two actors and he plays a younger version of that actor. Oh my god, what is it called? And he's addicted
what?
to
What?
to morphine and things like that. Oh, and have you seen Swiss Army Man? That's hilarious.
Mm.
I just suddenly
Have you not
got
seen
into
that?
movies.
Well, I mean, Swiss Army is kind of horror because he's a dead body, and
Oh.
it's pretty. It's- The guy uses him like a Swiss Army knife for whatever he needs. That's why it's called Swiss Army Man. But then it's like, well, who does he actually exist in the end? But yeah, what an actor! Far out. He's amazeballs, I reckon.
You guys ever seen that movie with Ryan Reynolds where he has some severed heads in his fridge and they talk to him and he's schizophrenic, I think.
What's it called?
No.
I don't know what that's called. I forgot what it's called, but it has Ryan Reynolds and there's 3 severed heads in his fridge, and he talks to all of them.
That
I mean,
sounds
I
really
love
good.
Ryan Reynolds, so I'm gonna watch it.
Ryan
He's
Reynolds
good,
is
isn't
pretty
he?
good too.
Ryan Reynolds is just great.
What's that one? Is it Six Underground? Have you seen
Oh
that?
yeah, he's also in that one. I haven't seen that yet, but
There
It's
is.
been a
bloody
lot.
good. It's bloody
One thing
good.
I know is I'm not watching Green Lantern.
Oh, whoa.
The
No.
one Ryan Reynolds
I
film
made the
I'm not
mistake
touching.
of seeing that in the theaters with my mother.
Oh no!
It's
He got
such a
universally
disaster.
canned for that.
I mean, you can never.
Actually, when I was a kid, it wasn't that much of a disaster because I enjoyed the superhero bullshit. I didn't not like it. I was like, this made a lot of sense because I was a kid. My mind was weak at the time. I didn't
And then
have the
into Transformers
mental
4.
capacity to criticize it. And yeah, that's same with Transformers. I didn't have the mental capacity to say it's bad because I was a fucking child. Why? I enjoyed the action and I
I
enjoyed
still
the
like
fact that
Transformers 1 through 3. After that, get out. Those don't
the,
exist.
the movie is called The Voices, the one with Ryan Reynolds.
Ah, I'm gonna watch that. He's pretty good. I saw him in The Bodyguard or something as well. Anyway, we'll move on to this.
Oh, yeah, there's
Sorry.
like Hitman's
The
Bodyguard.
Hitman's
Yeah,
Bodyguard,
I
yeah.
didn't mind that. You know, it's Zelma Hayek. I think she stole the movie.
Still gotta watch some more films. I've been kind of sticking in my bubble of I'll watch this eventually.
I'll watch
So
this eventually.
what do you do? Just what do you do with yourself?
Sit at my desk and just kind of wait for something to happen. I don't do much, and then when I'm really just like in the mood, I'll pull out a movie and watch that.
I'm exhausted just listening to that.
Well, I mean,
All right.
whenever it starts to rain, I just watch a movie. That's my excuse. That's always
Did
the
have
best time to watch.
actually have another one, which I mean everybody loves because it's brilliant. It makes a lot of money when it comes to the franchise. Because I'm thinking all these movies are blowing my mind. I actually thought that I think they hadn't done one for about the early like 2010, 2011, and it turns out there's one in the works, and it's Final Destination.
Oh
Brilliant.
my
Oh,
god.
I mean, they're
But
making
what
another
they're doing,
train, from
they're
what I
doing a
heard.
new one. But instead of, because all it is like a group of teenagers like that don't even look like teenagers, and it's all unknown actors. So basically, they make a lot of money because they don't really pay them very well because they're not very popular. And what they're doing now, they're putting it on like EMTs and medics and the police. So they're going to do it from a different angle. They're going to try and do it a bit differently rather than the same kind of narrative of some massive accident. It's going to be a different take. Be quite interesting.
That's a really cool idea, isn't it? I like that.
I mean, they're
Like
also making
actual
another
life-threatening
3
jobs.
Yeah, so that people who see death more often. So it'd be interesting how they work around that. With the
Oh,
pandemic, everything's been pushed, delayed for a whole year and a half. So
I mean, yeah, the pandemic just ruined everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
So are we
It's only-
moving on?
They had to
Yeah,
Yeah,
delay
we're moving
Saw.
on. No one else.
the only last one I could think of was Hellraiser, but that's been in development till hell for I don't know how long. I don't think it will ever be remade.
No, they need to leave that alone.
Yeah, it's just
That's
What
not
the fuck
fair.
are they gonna
That's
do
not
with
cool,
that?
man.
What the fuck are they
They
gonna
read-
do with that?
I know. I haven't seen it in a while, but god damn, that's one of my faves. They're redoing Exorcist 2, I found today, looking through a few things, and it said they're in post-production now.
They were doing
but it's
so
called-
much things.
It's called The Exorcist, and they're saying when I was reading through it, it was saying it was a sequel. So I don't know why it's called The Exorcist, but
that's the only movie that I physically could not watch.
really, what even
Yeah.
now?
Well, I
It's
mean, I
pretty-
don't know. I've not.
Pretty freaky.
It's always when I was a child. I mean, I used to be, I can watch anything, and I just physically couldn't watch it. It was psychological torture. I just couldn't watch it. But I don't think I could bring myself to watch it now. It's just some of the scenes are just so. I mean, I don't believe in all that. I don't think that actually exists, demonic possession, because I don't think it does.
Mm.
It's just. Ugh.
But you would
Horrible.
look at it, and you would probably look at little I think what is her name, Morgan's face, and you just go, oh,
Oh
you know.
yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Fucked up. I don't think I can watch that either. I haven't seen it, but I don't think I will be able to.
I just hope they leave it alone. I mean, they won't, obviously, but I think that the charm of those films it comes from the time it was made, and if it's
Hmm.
if
Yeah,
it's
it's a good
timeless, it's
element.
going to do the time. Like with Jaws, it's got that sort of Technicolor
Oh yeah.
vibe to it,
It's
and you can't recreate that, I don't think.
it's
Nah.
like because of the old-timey camera that they shot it with, that's what gives it the appeal. That's what gives it the
Mm.
immersion. Like this
I'd say it was
happened
more
in this
Spielberg at his
year, and
prime.
yeah, it's like this happened in this year, and they made it actually. It actually looks like it.
Mm.
It's a weird
Yeah,
thing to explain. It's yeah.
that's
That's
why I think
what
they should
gives
leave it alone.
the yeah, that's what really gives the charm to The Godfather. Because that shit was set in the
Yeah.
1940s, but it was made in the 1970s.
Mm.
But it actually does look like it's set in the 1940s because of how old cameras were back then in the 70s and shit like that. Also, like Taxi Driver and all that other shit.
Mm. And yeah, and they can recreate that as much as they want, but I don't think it still doesn't have the same earthy sort of appeal to it, I don't think.
It's not gonna have that thing anymore, that vibe.
Mm.
It's not gonna stay. You can't recreate that. It's not something that you can, duplicate into this time.
I agree. All right, we'll go on to so horror cliches. There's not many of those. What would we take out of those
Oh, sorry,
franchises?
I completely missed the whole tackling reimagining, but it's fine. I didn't really have much to.
Oh, I thought it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was sort of like the same thing, so I didn't.
Oh, well, I mean,
Tell me,
only,
what would you
I
tackle?
mean, they've done it once and it was really good. If anyone's seen the Child's Play, the new Child's Play movie, it was 2019, which is Chucky. If everyone knows Chucky, but it wasn't about a possessed doll. They did it in a different way, where it was artificial intelligence, high tech, and basically he
That
could.
actually makes a lot of sense.
Voiced by
It
Mark
needs to,
Hamill.
yeah. It's basically in this kind of day and age. It's updated based on today's technology, and it's just like kind of it's almost like Stephen King's The Children of the Corn, which is a brilliant Stephen King's franchise. Got loads about a 12-year-old that goes around brainwashing kids to kill all the adults. And I thought if they updated that, they could do it like, I mean, no disrespect to Columbine, but Columbine meets The Faculty, like add a supernatural element, like a high school kind of kids going fucking crazy and just killing all the teachers. But that's probably not going to go down very well with audiences.
It will be controversial, but
Yeah.
I'm not saying not people would hate it. A lot of people would love it. Violence is usually a taboo thing in movies. Like people usually shy away from it. People usually look at violence and murder like, yeah, this is very bad. I don't think I like this. But in a lot of people love that. So there's like two types of people. There's the types who aren't too well versed in violence, and there's the type who are desensitized to it. And actually, some of them enjoy it. I don't think that's fucked up. That's perfectly normal. A lot of people enjoy violence. I just
Yeah.
I just don't want people to be too into it. That would be fucked up.
And this is the problem in the UK. We have something called Ofcom. So if someone says something on television and people pick up the phone and complain, I'm thinking, what kind? I don't know anybody in my life that picks up the phone to complain about something, because don't watch the fucking program if you don't if you don't like it. Such scum. I just can't stand. I said on Facebook, if anyone ever calls in and complains, please unfriend me. I can't stand people that do stuff like that.
Oh my
They should
god.
record the calls.
Have a right to offend, but if you don't like it, don't watch it.
But what happens when these
Exactly.
people complain, though? Nothing, I'm sure. Like,
Most
Does
of the
something
Depends
happen?
how many. I mean, it depends how many people do it. I mean, we had an issue in the UK of we have something called Britain's Got Talent, and I'm sorry to digress. And Ashley Banjo, who's a famous dancer, he did a whole dance routine based on George Floyd's death, and he did a kind of reenactment, and loads of people complained about it, and he got a lot of abuse for it. I mean, why are you getting why would that offend you? I mean, I don't understand.
I mean, that was
It's trying to shed light to the situation. It's a very taboo topic. It's a very sensitive one, but he's basically, I think what he's doing is showing his support to it. He's not mocking it or anything, is he?
No. I mean, there's, like I said, I don't want to go down the whole BLM route because it's just not relevant. But yeah, there's mixed opinions in the UK with that kind of stuff.
I think it's cool because it makes people think. You know, you might not like it, but you might sit there and rationalise as to why people do, and the penny might not drop for a few years, or it may not ever drop. But yeah, I don't think there's anything offensive about it. What's their problem? But people will complain about anything. You know, people complain about daylight savings, and the old ladies will ring up and saying, "I don't want it because my curtains will bleach out quicker, from the sunlight." And it's like, dude, that's not the way it works, but that's the way people are.
It's gonna go in the exact same amount of time. Exactly.
And but that's the beauty of the world, isn't it?
People always find something to complain about.
Everybody has something to complain about, and if there's something that exists, people will always complain about it.
Well, this is the problem with the British, which includes myself. But we complain because we seldom get nice weather. When it's too hot, we complain we can't sleep, and then when it pisses down, we can't. Well, why is it pissing down? We can't enjoy the sun. It's just you can't please Brits.
Yeah,
I had
you got a bud that does that all the time.
I'm the same. I hate it when it's too sunny, but then I don't like it when it rains.
There was
It has to be like in between. Like there has to be a balance when it comes to weather.
Yeah. Thing is, I mean, I don't know what your country's like. I mean, when I've been to Cyprus, it's really, really hot, but it's a different kind of heat. It's like almost like a warm hug.
It's very hot here. Oh, what were you saying, Miss Pitt?
I was just going to say I was watching a documentary about expats, and because there's a lot of Australians that move from the UK back and forth, and there was a woman who was moved to Sydney, and she's on film and she's just going, the sky, it's just always blue. And it was beautiful, and they had a shot of this gorgeous sky. I thought that was kind of funny. I was watching the TV today. Hey,
God.
But how's summer in the UK? The Download Festival. I was watching something on that, and it was raining. Everyone's in galoshes, and
what seems to happen is we'll have sunshine, really hot weather for about 4 or 5 days, and then we'll kind of in return we'll get like 6 days of absolute shit downpours, is what we've had all this week.
Oh.
So it kind of just makes up for it.
I know that feeling. Here in Florida, we're in hurricane season, so
yeah,
weather all around.
That's the good thing about Britain. We're that part of the globe where we don't have to worry about tsunamis and earthquakes and any kind of dodgy weather, extreme weather.
I mean, no one here really worries about them anymore. We're like, all right, well, can't go outside for a couple weeks.
Well,
we've kind of accepted. We've accepted the restrictions.
We've been used to the pandemics. We're used to not being able to go out for months.
No one around here listened to that.
Well, we had offers that were kind of asking people where they were going and everything, and stuff like that. Just fining people for going out. It's crazy.
Do you have to watch out for all the old people playing canasta in Florida?
I don't know. I don't leave the house, to be honest.
Playing what?
I know that's about the only thing I know about Florida.
I mean, there are a lot of old people. You're not wrong with that.
It makes sense, though, doesn't it?
Like,
what are
the
the old people doing
that's
again?
Just a common thing.
Playing canasta.
What is
Seinfeld?
What is that?
I've ever heard
So
of
I think it's a card game, isn't it?
An idea. Yes, it's quite complicated, apparently.
The only thing I know about Florida is the meth gators.
Okay, those aren't the biggest issue that troubles Florida. I haven't even really heard of it much.
You wouldn't know though, because you're asleep.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I still hear about stuff around here.
Where are
Like,
you from?
I'm from Massachusetts, but I moved here to Florida.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, I just got back from
Insomnia is
the-
one day gonna grow up to be a Florida man.
Nope. I'm getting out of this state first chance I get, man.
Where are you gonna go?
It's the
No
Sunshine
idea.
State.
It's the
I know it's-
Sunshine State.
Yeah, no, more like the rain state. It rains 90% of the time and it's sunny 10%.
I don't think it should be called the Sunshine State. It should be called the
No.
Meth Gator State.
No, not that one. I feel we should
Where-
just take a little hacksaw and cut Florida off of the US. That's my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Where are you gonna go when you can go?
Another state, maybe like into another country. I'm not sure exactly.
Mexico.
I have time to plan it out, so.
We were
Sounds
talking about
good.
cliches, weren't we?
It just went off on a different tangent.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
well,
was-
we are. We are talking about
We
cliches.
just went off. We just went off. So,
It'll probably all just get cut anyway.
yes.
All right, so
Never
we're
gonna
talking
remember
about
this.
cliches in horror films.
Cliches.
What would we take out?
Okay, look, I'll go first. One of the things I really want to take out is I don't even think this gets done anymore, but there's just this thing where everybody has heard of this joke. Everybody, every single person.
I think I
Is
know where this
that-
is going.
Oh, I think you're gonna know what this is. Basically, in every horror movie, if there's a black guy,
Yep, there it is.
you guys, you guys can guess what happens.
Yeah, they
I was
black
making-
eye
I'm the
cops first,
controversial one.
always.
It's not
So
true.
very-
That doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah,
no,
it
I
doesn't
haven't
happen
seen that in
anymore,
a
but
very long
it
time.
used to always happen, and that was weird.
I never really saw that happen much. Like, sometimes, yeah.
Well, if
It
there
used
was
to
lucky
happen a
enough to
lot.
have a person of color in the film, at all.
I mean, they're gonna die eventually, so
Yeah, but
Well, it's
why did
kind
they
of-
have to go first?
they were just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
They went down that hallway they shouldn't have gone down.
Yep. They went alone.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I've said that a couple of times. That, it's a bit. Yeah, they should. It's either that or the screaming annoying girl, which you kind of want to.
Oh god.
Oh
the
my
Scream
god,
Queens.
I fucking hate that.
Scream Queen, that's what it is.
Well, but
Oh,
the
they're
thing is,
called
it's
Scream
always
Queens.
Yeah.
it's always the girlfriend really of the lead, and they cop it pretty quick.
And that's,
And you want it.
she
You want them to.
I think it's the normal reaction to scream that much when you see somebody get killed in front of you. But when it's something as mundane as somebody chasing you, why the hell would you scream as if you're getting tortured?
Why would you stand still and scream? Maybe,
Yeah, this
Run.
guy with a knife is coming at you. What do? Do you run away? Do you go into a room and lock yourself in? Do you find a way to
Stand
fight
completely
back?
still,
No, you
yelling.
fucking stand completely still, screaming like a bitch until he kills you.
No, actually, you make a very good point. And that reminds me of if anyone's seen the video to Thriller, Michael Jackson's Thriller, and Michael Jackson's transforming into the werewolf, and all his girlfriend is doing is standing there screaming while he transforms and decides to run away like the last couple of seconds. I mean, for God's sake.
Well, that's
So
the thing.
you're
The
right.
girls cry over anything, don't they?
She waited for him. She waited for him to fully transform before she ran away.
It's so dumb. But to be honest, it was probably written by a male.
Probably.
And they've just continued it, I mean. Anyway, I agree. It's a
Yeah.
cliche. What would you keep? What would you keep though, Hito, if you had to? What do you think is an integral part of these franchises?
What would I keep? The thing I would honestly keep is fake. False alarm jump scares. When it's really quiet. One character is going around, looking through a dark room or something, and then suddenly there's the loud sudden music, and then he gets shocked. He turns around. He's like, oh, and then it's just his friend. He's like, yo, dude, what are you doing? You know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
When it's something like that, yeah, no, I don't like that. But if it's an actual situation where that happens and then the actual scare happens, those situations I kind of enjoy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Is
Like
there
first it's a fake scare, and then the next second it's a real one.
Yeah.
I can't stand it when there's too much. I think it's a fine balance, isn't it?
Mm.
Hmm.
Because
I
it
just
does
like the
get you
fake
going.
scares.
That, oh, you know, the fake scares. Yeah.
Yeah, like it gets your adrenaline set up, and you're just
Yeah.
anticipating you were anticipating something scary to happen, but instead it's a fake scare, and you're just kind of disappointed, but at the same time you're like, oh, they got me.
They got me. I'm spooked.
They got me. Oh, I'm startled.
I've
Oh,
been scared.
I've been
I'm not-
bamboozled.
I'm not cool when I get scared like that. Like I make like a really loud noise and I'll jump, but if it's someone like getting hacked to death or just, you know, ripped in half or something
Oh.
gory like that, I'm like, whoa, you know. But I get
love
scared,
that
I'm like a
horror.
big girl's blouse.
It's not
Good
something
one
you
of
watch
my,
when.
That's amazing.
What?
Not something you.
One of my habits when I'm watching like a horror movie and somebody's getting their head chopped off, one of my habits is to like hold my neck like protectively. Like I would just hold it with my hand, you know, because whenever I see somebody's throat slit or their head getting chopped off, I hold on to my head like in like a protective manner. I'm like, oh no, don't touch my neck, please.
Normally, I never do that when I see people get hacked open, but I did it for the first time the other day. I watched Invincible, like on Amazon Prime.
Oh,
and the-
Invincible! Oh my god, I love that
dude,
show.
the scenery crushes the guy's head. Oh my, I cannot watch that part. Everyone else
Which
in that
one is
thing
it?
gets brutally murdered, but somehow
Which
him
one?
getting his head slowly crushed by someone's
Oh,
hands.
it's the first episode. It's the first
Yeah,
episode.
it's
Yeah.
the end of the first episode. I can't do that scene,
Oh,
dude. I
oh my
can't.
god, his eye pops out and then
Yeah,
just. Oh my god.
all the other ones I can watch get beat to death, but for some reason that one I can't.
It's just he just did it so slowly until his eye popped out, and it eventually just ended in a gory mess.
Yeah, I
Is this the
hate it.
Yeah, that's a
animated?
spoiler.
Yeah, it's the
Oh, it's the
animated show.
animated one. Yeah, it's a superhero show.
It's where the think meme comes from. Like the
Think
Mark.
Ah,
I
do you
love
know?
that.
I hate it when in Kill Bill when they're in the caravan and she, you know, pokes the eye out and then stands on it. Do you remember that?
Oh, best film ever.
And it goes between her toes.
I love
was
Kill
like,
Bill.
"Ugh."
I love
I
Kill
know.
Bill. I saw with my girlfriend both films.
Could watch it over and over and over again. Brilliant.
It's one you
Oh,
never
it's
get
such
old of
good
that
film.
film, but that eyeball bit gets me a bit.
Oh, that eyeball.
Surprised
Yeah.
nobody's.
Oh,
I'm surprised nobody's mentioned one of the really obvious things that happen. I mean, when you got the protagonist who has a chance to eliminate the antagonist but decides to do nothing, and you get that in Wolf Creek. If anyone's seen Wolf Creek,
I know.
she shoots him. She shoots him in the neck. He's incapacitated. Instead of finishing the job and bashing his brains, they decide to run off. I switch the movies off when they do that.
Friday the
I switch the
13th
movies
movie.
off. I switch it
Well,
off.
Oh
if you
my
think
God.
about it though, if she got rid of him, it'd be the end of the film.
I know that's what I mean. It's got to have a narrative,
Yeah, you
but
can't milk it for sequels.
you can still do it in a real way. But no, I switch off when that happens. I just can't put up with that.
I mean, when there's like
No,
a
what I re-
masked antagonist, I hate when they just don't remove the mask when the guy is like knocked out or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
He's
really want
right
them to see what they
there.
look like.
Literally
It's
take
like-
the mask off, report him to the police. He can't run at that point.
Well,
Like, you
if
can't
it's a
hide.
movie like if it's a movie like Friday the 13th where the killer's not really human, I don't think that the mask thing would really matter.
No, the mask thing, no, that doesn't matter. But the fact that, double tap that guy, just, I don't know, cut off his arms or something.
Oh yeah, they should definitely do. They should cut off his arm so he can't use his machete anymore.
Now, I'm talking before he became a supernatural being. I don't know how that happened, but I don't know. I have the movies here. I just gotta watch them.
So like,
Falling over a lot. Oh, sorry.
usually in horror movies, the protagonist usually hesitates to kill the antagonist. Like they have the chance to do it, but then they don't. They pussy out of it at the last at the second that it really matters, and there's really no explanation for it. You know, maybe sometimes it does have an explanation. Sometimes it's because the protagonist thought, "Oh, my friend is back there. They're injured. I have to go help them. So I'm not gonna waste my time trying to kill this guy. I gotta save my friends." Shit like that, you know. If there's an explanation, it makes a lot of sense. But if there's no explanation whatsoever on why they shied away from killing the number one threat that was trying to eliminate them, it's just
I think
that's fun.
it's because they want the hero to be like the good guy and to be seen as the good guy. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying
Yeah,
that
like
it's a good thing. I'm not saying I'm right, but I think
They
that's
still have a
why.
moral compass despite almost getting
Exactly.
murdered.
Yes. No one on this world would do that.
Actually, but now you've mentioned that. Who mentioned moral compass?
I did.
Yeah, that's quite true. Even Michael Myers has a moral compass, and that's been proved in the Halloween movie that came out most recently. Because Michael Myers does not kill babies.
Yeah, wasn't
He
there
walked up to
the one
he walked
movie
up
where
to
he
the cot.
spared his
Look,
niece?
no, that's his target. That's who he wants to kill because he's like Terminator. He's got one target. And if anyone gets his way, they're dead.
Yeah.
But he went
There's
over
like a scene though where he spares her, which is weird.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's got sociopathic tendencies. Because sociopaths, compared to psychopaths, sociopaths can actually have feelings, and they've got some kind of. They're aware of what they're doing, and they can't. And there is something there. So he does. Like I said, when he walked up to the baby's cot and just looked at it, you think. Knife in the baby. Now he just walked off. So
Knife in the baby.
he's got
Oh, that
He's
would
got
be
some
so
morals.
fucked up. That would be so fucked up if he just decided, oh look a baby, stab.
I would go with the
So
well, that would really
fucked.
sell the original
be
message
kinda
that
cool.
he's someone who doesn't have emotion and just doesn't feel, which is what they kind of hammered in the first film and the second one. And I know
He
does
does
some
have a
movies
moral
after the
compass.
second one. Wait, this one replaces the original sequel, but
There is a movie where I won't mention, but something bad does happen to a baby, and it's a Serbian film. But we shouldn't discuss that in case the FBI come.
Oh my god, no, don't even mention
I'm not gonna say it.
the
don't
YouTube gods will not
fuck
appreciate
you,
it.
man. Fuck you. I know what you're talking about. That's
Yeah.
no. Don't bring
The
that up.
Horrible.
Fuck
Gods
you.
I won't.
like
I'm
it.
not.
Fuck you.
Just let
You
your
didn't have
imagination
to.
do the
Jesus
work.
Christ.
Jesus.
You didn't have to, man. You didn't have to bring that up. Oh my fucking god. Oh.
It's Europe.
That's
It's
just-
Europeans. They have weird taste in films. Like, have you seen Requiem for a Dream?
Oh my
no,
god.
sorry,
No, that's
No,
that's-
that's Tim Roth.
that's a double kill.
Is that Tim Roth?
It's a
Anyway.
double kill for me.
Is that the one with the baby crawling on the ceiling?
Oh, really?
Excuse me?
Yeah, no. Look, I can't remember because I know it's got US actors in it, but there's another one that Tim Roth, from like Reservoir Dogs and a lot of Tarantino. He
Oh
directed
yeah.
the weirdest film. I don't know what it's called, and it's fucking feral, man. Like, and I just, I think.
What are you talking about?
Oh, it's
Especially
got
for a
baby stuff in
baby.
it, but I think that people like in Europeans, like they're a lot more freer and like in terms of like nudity and drugs and they express their opinions and their views differently and they're more open about it.
I think because his brother directed Hostel, didn't he? Eli Roth. Get mixed up between the two.
You know what? I can't even remember it, but it's just
I've heard that guy's name.
Anyway, I don't know why I brought that up. Why did you bring that up, James? Sorry.
No, it's just when I mentioned the baby, and that's just one of the horrific scenes. But I'm not going to mention what it is.
No,
Yeah,
come
but
on.
just
Come on.
I'm going to move on. Okay, the only the only
Solution
cliche
for
that
terrifying babies: kick the baby.
Kick the baby. Don't kick the goddamn baby.
mind you, if I would encourage anyone to watch horror series on Amazon Prime called Them. And basically, there was a scene where a baby just gets thrown around between people, and it's just horrific. It's really
Oh,
intense.
what the fuck?
Can I
Hot
let's
potato, but with a
let's
baby.
just leave the babies out, right? Forget about babies. The only other thing I
Hot
could think
potato
of
with a
is
baby.
hiding under the bed. Why do people hide
Oh
under
my
the bed?
God.
yeah.
Why do that? Why do
As
that?
if no
Bed,
one's gonna
closet,
check.
screw that. Go out the fucking window.
One
See,
of
I
the
would never hang.
cliches that I would love to stay in horror movies is the I don't really know what it's called, but I'm just gonna describe how it happens. It's basically when a character is well put into a scary situation. Like they're already aware that something fucking fucky wucky is already going on, and then they look
Fucky
around.
wucky.
Yeah, they look into this dark spot, this ominous spot,
Mm.
try to see if something is there. Nothing. The camera pans back, and when it shows the fucking creature killer behind them, right behind them, or right next to them, and that just gives you a scare. Then they get attacked. It's like it's so quiet. It's so quiet and ominous when they're looking everywhere around for any threat in the room. And then when the camera pans back, it reveals that the threat is actually right beside them, and then it attacks them, and there's a struggle that goes on. I love it when
You're,
that happens.
you're right, because what they don't help themselves, because what they do is they go saying, "Hello, is anybody there?" So they basically
Oh,
giving away their
I hate
location.
that. I hate it when they do that. They go into a dark room, a dark, ominous room where a killer could be hiding, and then they say, "Is anybody there?
And
Who would be there?"
no one's going to answer. He's going to, oh, right, I'm here, right here. Oh,
Let me go into this abandoned asylum
you
that no
think-
one has touched in 40 years. Hey, anyone home?
Anybody home? Do you think the serial killer's gonna answer? Oh yeah, I'm right here. I'm making a sandwich. You want one?
Hey, how's it going, man?
How's it going, man? Your lights are broken. It's fuck. I
Yeah,
can't
gotta
believe
get a
they do
guy
that.
out here. Oh,
They're
all these
stupid to
horror
do
movies
that. They
that
just
take
gave
place in,
themselves
like,
away.
all these like slashers that take place in America are really inaccurate. Everyone owns a gun. They get shot on sight.
Like, in the movies, nobody whips out a gun, but if that
No,
was
but almost every American has one, at least like in their
Yeah,
home or
almost-
on them.
yeah, almost every American has one, but in the
Very
movies,
inaccurate.
in the movies, none of those people seem to whip out a gun whenever they get approached with with this some kind of killer or monster or something like that.
Yeah, they don't whip out anything. They're just like, well, guess I'll die.
The thing I
Also,
hate the
one of
most is they don't even. The thing I hate the most about horror movies is, at first, they don't even think about finding a method of defending themselves. At first, they don't think of that. What they do is they run around, they scramble around, try to hide, try to call for help. When what they should be doing is preparing to fucking fight off whatever is trying to kill them. That should be the rational choice, right? If you don't, fuck. Yeah,
You
that's
can have a lot of fun
There's
with
one
that
last
too.
cliche I can think of, and that's when the like slasher is in the fucking road and someone just doesn't hit them. They like swerve into a tree, even though they know
And
that
then-
guy's a killer.
No, they. What if they don't know? What if it's like one where they don't know he's a killer yet?
Well,
and
when they
thinks
don't
it's
know,
just-
then yeah, I can kind of understand not wanting to hit him. But when they know and they see them standing still in a street, why are you swerving? Kill him!
Yeah, hit him. What the fuck are you doing?
Drop that
I
man.
get. I don't get why they shy away from killing the main threat that's trying to eliminate them. I don't get that. Why they? It's the moral compass. Probably the moral compass, but what? Why? Why have a moral compass when you should be saving your own life?
And the lives of others if you're not the main target,
Yep.
if you're just one of many.
Children
Just
seem to get a
fun,
lot.
you know.
Children seem to get cut a lot of slack in horror movies. I mean, you seldom see children being executed.
Yeah, I
or-
mean,
you've had it
Yeah, I'm
one.
not
You've
gonna
had it
comment.
in. You do get it. It's very rare. I mean, in Sleepy Hollow, it happened. Directed by Tim Burton. It was done. The kid had his head cut off, but it was off screen. But if anyone's watched Ash
Aw.
vs Evil Dead, a kid's hiding in the toilet. He runs. The demon catches him, chucks him into a ceiling fan. He just gets cut into pieces, and all he says is, And all the demon says is, "Oh, I've got another one for my fan club."
Oh,
Like,
you've got to end it on a cheesy line.
I need to
don't you?
watch that. I need
Very
to
gory.
see
oh
that.
my
Very
god,
gory.
the demon is fucking That's so cool. Oh, that's another one for my fan club.
Lots of
It's really,
one-liners in the
really
series.
Yeah.
Oh,
Has
yeah,
has
yeah.
anyone watched Happy
happy.
on Netflix? Yeah, on
Oh, I've
Netflix.
heard of that. Is that series?
I don't have Netflix.
Oh, that series.
Oh, you don't have
I think it's
Netflix.
brilliant.
I've not
It's
I've
about
not
this
got around.
this cop who becomes, you know, an addict and alcoholic, and this girl's imaginary friend, which is a unicorn with, you know,
Oh yeah,
wings.
I've seen this. I've seen this. I don't know why I haven't
it's
checked it out,
amazing.
but I've seen it.
It's bloody good. Like it's just beautiful. It's your perfect mixture of death and grossness and dirt and everything beautiful, and it's just hilarious too. Like every single episode, there's a whole bunch of people that get slain in the most awesome, amazing ways. You know, each one is different and it's hilarious. I love it.
Yo, I've actually seen the first episode of this. I don't know how I forgot it so easily, but I've seen this. It's the one where this
Episode
dude
I watched.
hallucinates, right?
Yeah, and he chops his head off and he's like dancing away. But at first I was like, oh, you know, these cheesy one-liners and blah blah. But the more I got into it, I was like, I love these one-liners. Like it kind of grows on you a bit. It's
Oh
really
yeah, that
artistic
one-liners
too.
are a good element.
Yeah. Sometimes I think you know what I would get rid of? I would get rid of coming back to life after, you know, you've been hit by a semi-trailer, burned alive,
A
you know,
psychiatrist.
sent through. Yeah, just like, dude, you can't come back after that.
I also love
You
those
know?
bits where like people get slashed with some kind of sword. They'll stand perfectly fine, and then like a limb will slowly fall off.
Oh, they don't even
Oh,
realize
how
it's
that
cut
would
off
work.
until it happens. They
Not
don't
how
even
that
realize
works.
until it happens. Yeah.
Where did
You
that
know-
even?
Like gets their torso cut in half, and they're just standing
Oh, yeah.
there, and then just
Yeah.
oh,
And then
I've
they
been
just
cut in
slide
half.
off. Yeah, I'm actually curious where that started, James. Like,
Yeah, the
who
whole
came
lot of
up
the
with that
one-liners.
concept?
I mean, all I know from the earliest example I can think from James Bond, when James Bond dispatched one of his enemies, he'd drop something like if he electrocuted someone, he'd say "shocking," or if he killed someone, he'd say he's dead tired or
Oh,
something like that. It was really tacky.
oh,
But
But
then
that's a cliche sort of
Yeah.
one-liner, isn't it?
They always make me smile. Those one-liners always make me smile for some reason. I don't know. I like them.
and I mean, you've got they can't even Clive Owen did it once in a film where he murdered someone with a carrot and he shoved it down his throat and it ripped out the back of his neck and he said, "Eat your vegetables." It's like,
Oh. Yo, you guys
That's
should you guys know this one movie on YouTube called Kung Fury? It's
No.
oh my god, you guys don't know it. Okay. It basically is a parody of every cheesy 80s action movie ever. And it's the main story of it is the guy is basically a cop who's also a kung fu master. He's both of those at the same time. And that movie has a lot of one-liners. It's only 30 minutes. It has a lot of one-liners. Like
Ash
holy
vs
shit.
Evil Dead is full of it. It's just all over the place. Just
All over the fucking place, yeah. One-liner.
number
Basically,
two.
it pays homage. It pays homage to the original
Yeah,
Evil Dead
yeah.
movies, where there's also a lot of one-liners. You know.
Well, it's a spoof of the Evil Dead, isn't it?
it's because it
what
started
I
off as a horror and then the second one became a comedy horror.
Yeah.
And then they just ran with it. But the remake was in I think 2011 was like a remake. Reboot was just basically darker. It was straight out horror. But Ash vs Evil Dead is just a complete parody of itself. And it's just brilliant fun. It's
Yeah.
so much blood, so much guts, so much gore, and it's just very funny as well. I'd recommend anyone watch it on Netflix while it's still there.
Oh, the series.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I've watched
yeah.
a bit of that.
Sorry?
Hello.
Was that?
Can you guys hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. Well, I want to say something about the trope that Insomnia told us about, where a guy's limb gets cut off and he doesn't realize it until it happens. It's a really wacky concept. Are you guys there?
Yeah, we're listening.
Oh god, when people go completely silent, I worry that I lagged out. But yeah,
No, we fall
it's a
asleep.
really it's a really wacky concept when when your limb gets cut off or when your head gets cut off, and you don't realize it until it falls off. It's like when it happens in those cartoons where they run off a cliff and they don't realize that they're on the edge until they look down and then they fall.
I thought you could say they're sort of like riding in the air. What
Yeah, they're
about
like
when
standing they're
Yeah, and they
standing
run
I-
in the air. Yeah, run in the air and pause and then drop. That's not how gravity works. But
Yeah, I know.
it doesn't work until they look down and realize it.
What about when there's
So-
like a
Never.
sorry.
What?
What
Oh,
about
what
when
is
there's
it, Miss?
Fuck. No, you go,
What?
it's fine.
I'm asking you, what is it? I actually want to hear it. What you're gonna say? I'm
No,
curious.
the what about when there's a bit of a to and a froing and there's a fight and the gun goes off or they're both silent and then you don't know who the one has actually died?
yeah,
Do we like that?
yeah. But usually it's the unexpected person.
Yeah.
Like a gun goes off.
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh,
someone
who got
gets
shot?"
yeah.
They're like, "Who got shot? Who got shot?" They're just looking
I think
around.
it was exciting at first, the first few times you see that in a movie, but then it gets a bit old. I don't know.
It's not. It's quite annoying when they leave it on a cliffhanger at the end of the season. You've got to wait a whole 12 months to find out what
Oh,
happened.
God. That's why I stopped
my
watching
God, I hate
shows
that.
until they're finished.
You know what? I was gonna add something to the cliche that when a limb gets chopped off, they don't realize it's chopped off until it slides off. Um, there's this horror manga I've been reading. I've read once called written by Junji Ito. I don't know if you guys know him, but there's one story that he wrote where a guy basically gets his head chopped off because of some witchcraft voodoo shit. He sleeps with a witch. Her She cuts his head off, and it doesn't fall off of him. He suddenly when he realized that his head got chopped off, he realized it immediately. What he did was he held on to it, and then he uh he walked out of the house holding his head still, trying not to let go of it, because if he
That
does,
would-
he knows he's dead.
That
So
wouldn't work.
he's trying.
That wouldn't work.
Some sticky tape.
Yeah, it wouldn't. He's trying to hold it. He's trying to keep it connected to his neck, so that his
It's too late. You've severed the artery. You can't hold it in place. It'll just.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work. I mean, if your
Yeah,
limb got chopped off, you go into cardiac arrest. The shock will give you a heart attack.
Oh yeah, it really goes against logic, but he's just holding his head completely still, and that manga really gave me a lot of anxiety when I was reading it, because he's walking around sweating, nervous, his legs, his hands shaking, knowing that if his head falls off, he's fucked. So he's just holding it in place, and he had to go to his
So-
girlfriend's house for help. It was so stressful reading that.
Yeah, if he had to
'Cause,
bend
you
down
know-
and pick something up, he's fucked.
There's no. It's scientifically impossible for that
It's
to
not a
happen.
documentary, though, is it? Like, it's not.
No.
you know.
Once you've severed the spinal cord, you won't be able to walk.
Well, let's be honest, you're not going to be able to chop someone's head off in half anyway with any kind of implement that we have available. So,
I mean, look at all the beheadings that they did
It's
in
not
the Tudor
reality.
times.
Ah.
In the Tudor times, you'll never take the head off with one clean sweep. You'd end up hitting the back of the head most of the time. It took about a good 6-7 kind of
Oh
strokes.
god, that's so brutal.
reality.
Those were stick bastards back then, weren't they?
Ah, he's
Yeah, they
already
were.
dead.
You know how in that story that I was talking about, right near the end, there was an instance where he accidentally let go, like he accidentally took his head off, and then he quickly slammed it back down, and he was shaking.
You can't do that. It doesn't work.
No one saw it. No one saw it.
Once he sneezes, oh shit. Don't
for,
cough.
for a split second, he actually took his head off because something knocked him over, and then he suddenly slammed it back down, and he was shaking. His nose was bleeding. He was covered in adrenaline. It was so stressful.
Reminds me of those South Park characters, those twins, where the cartoon imagined that when they talk, half their head opens up. It's like their mouth
Canadians?
is
That's
Oh, the
literally just
Canadians.
Canada in
like.
South.
Oh,
The
it's
Canadians.
just like, they're
What are their
half their
names?
head. I can't remember.
The main
Nicky
two
Rick,
are
was it?
Terrence and Phillip.
Terrence
Those
and
are
Phillip.
Oh, that's it.
Half their head comes off to talk.
That's how all the
Canadians.
Canadians talk in South Park.
When they get to South Park, they look like that.
Yeah, that's just Canada in South Park.
Well, there's a
believe they
character
look
in
like
that too
that.
called Token.
Hmm?
Oh, there's a black character in there too, but that's called Token. You
Yep.
know, like they nailed it way back in the 90s.
His last name is Black as well.
Oh,
His full
Token.
name is
Token
Token
Black.
Black.
Yeah.
Token Black.
That's amazing.
South Park have always been very pushing their luck with stuff. I mean, I don't really
I
care. Like,
remember
they
a
did it
whole
with
season where they tried
not,
getting
though.
cancelled.
You know, I once watched South Park when I was a kid, and the shock value was just it hit me.
Oh, it was
It's
amazing.
like I watched it when I was a kid once. The episode that I first saw was Kyle's. You know Kyle, right? His dad. Yeah, Kyle got a surgery where he turned himself into a
Oh,
black
not that
man.
one.
Oh,
No.
and
I hate that episode.
he got surgery to get himself to grow taller and change the pigment of his skin into black so he can play basketball.
Yep.
and his dad,
That's literally
his
the plot of
dad-
the episode.
and his dad got surgery so he can look like a dolphin.
It was one of the most horrific things in that show. Not the most.
Not the most,
seen
but
the movie?
one of.
That same episode, they show like
Oh, the
clips
movie.
of a real life sex change operation, like
Oh
uncensored.
yeah. It actually showed
That
that.
caught
and I
me
was
off
like,
guard as a
oh,
kid.
yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
Although one of the
It
first
actually
things,
showed it.
one of the first things I ever saw of South Park was when Cartman was on Cthulhu and he kills Justin Bieber. That was one of my favorite things I ever seen.
It was at a concert. Like Justin, it
Yep.
was when Justin Bieber was at a concert. Cthulhu just grabs him and kills him.
Just kills him.
Justin Bieber deserves to be killed quite a few times.
Oh my god.
Just
Aw.
saying. Well, he's Canadian.
Oh, I can't believe in
You
South
should-
Park he looks normal. It looks normal in South Park.
Well, that's because you honestly wouldn't really be able to recognize him if they
Oh
did him in
yeah, if it was
Canadian.
Canadian, you wouldn't be able to. So, what were we talking about?